I got it on Samach Beis, Samach Beis. Gemara says, Darash Rava, Berei Rabbi Lai. What is the meaning? What it says in the pasuk? Vayan Hashem, Vayamar Hashem Yanki Gavu Benos Tzion. In describing the sins of that went on in Yerushalayim, that brought about the destruction of Beis Hamikdash and the exile. It says Yan. It is because Ki Gavu Benos Tzion, because the daughters of Tzion became tall, became high. So height is not a reason for exile. So what does that mean? Shoyamahachas became as a kufa because they walked around with haughtiness and with disregard. When Talachna Tues Goran, they went with an outstretched neck. What does that mean? Shoyamahachas okay, b'tzad godel. They would take deliberately a flirtatious walk of their heel just in front of their toe in order to entice people. And they would wink their eyes. They have a malan kuchla leinayu. They would put the makeup on their eyes. The kuchla is the blue dye that they would use. And they would be beckoning people. What?
Belladonna. Not starting up with Donna though, but belladonna. That's what they put on their eyes.
Belladonna?
Bella.
Believe me, you don't want to start up with Donna.
Belladonna.
What is that?
It's a nightshade, purple nightshade, and it has medicinal value. It's used in digitalis, and it's a drug, and they put it on their eyes. Belladonna, beautiful lady.
Actually, excuse me, Michael, I'll correct you. Foxglove is used as digitalis. Belladonna makes atropine, which is the stuff the eye doctor puts in your eyes to dilate them, to examine them. And women used to do that so they looked interesting.
Very nice. Okay. Thank you, Charles.
There you go. So they would put kuchla on their eyes and they would beckon, wink and beckon. Halach v'tofev. They would go, they would go tall. So what that means is that they would deliberately have tall women walk next to short women to make them look even taller so that they could attract attention. And with their feet, they ta'akasna. So ta'akasna is that they would make a venom. With their feet, they made venom. What does that mean? They would put myrrh and farsamon, spices and oils into their shoes on their feet. And they walked through the marketplace of Yerushalayim. When they came beside young Jewish men, they would stomp their feet on the ground, and they would spray some of the myrrh and farsamon onto them. And this way they entice them, bring the Yetzer Hara upon them like a venom. Because what is this? The root of the word here, kaos. What does it mean? A venomous snake. Because meaning with a venomous snake. My partner is saying, what does it mean? What is the bad? So the result of that was that in place of the spice, there was mak. There was as we'll see, that means they disintegrated or they dried out. Makim shem is basmas, makia. So makim shem basmas, by now send a makim and a makim. The place that they would beautify themselves or perfume themselves, that became dried out. The tachas chaguran nikpa, and the place where they would gird themselves, that became bruised. places that they would put beautiful bindings on themselves as a form of beautification, became bruised. Metachas mase miksha korcha. What does that mean? Makim shoy miskashtes bay, the place that they used to beautify themselves. Nasa krachim became, they lost their hair. They had bald spots. Metachas pasigel machgura sak, and in place of pasigel, there was a sackcloth girded. So what is pasigel? So it's a abbreviation of Pesachim HaMavinu Degila, the openings that bring to joy, and it's a euphemism. So in place of that, there was joy, or place that there was a relationship. So the openings that brought joy, and Machgura Sak, it was sackcloth. Kitachas Yofi, for in place of beauty. Oh, all this is in place of beauty. Amar Rabba Haina Damar Inshi Chalufi Shufra Kiba, in place of the beauty that was there, you now have pus. And then the pasuk says, "V'sipach Hashem kodkod ben asiyah." V'sipach means Hashem gathered in, or Hashem made it other. So v'sipach Hashem kodkod ben asiyah is a drash. Amar Rabbi Yisrael B'chanina Malamet Sheporcha ben Saras. That it says that the daughters of Tzion became had a leprosy. It's a ras. It says here in introducing in defining the saras, the Torah calls it sapachas. Vashem pasein yara. Hashem pasein yara ravish muchadama shenishbachu kikitoy. What is pasein yara? And he will pour it. That they poured like a kison, like a jug, meaning that they bled in not its proper time. And others say that it means that their openings were covered like a forest, meaning they became unkempt and disgusting. On Rabbi Yehuda Marav, Anshe Yerushalayim, Anshe Shachatzoi. Actually, the men of Yerushalayim were people of great disgrace, of disgustingness. As a euphemism, one would chat with his friend and say, "So, what did you eat today? Pasa mela or pasha ena mela? Fine flour or not such fine flour? Bread of non-fine flour. Beyayin gurdali." Obayayin Chardeli, and we're now in Samach Gimel Amud Aleph, with white wine or with dark wine. And these were all euphemisms for women. B'mesav rachav, b'mesav katzer, a wide mattress or a narrow mattress. B'chaver tov, b'chaver ra, a good friend or not such a good friend. Amar Rav Chisda v'kulan leznus, and all of it was a harlotry. Amar Rachba, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Atze Yerushalayim Shel Kinamon Ayu, the trees or the wood of Yerushalayim was of cinnamon, but Abishashayim Masikin man, Rechan Noidev, and when they would harvest from there, the scent would spread B'chol Eretz Yisrael, throughout Eretz Yisrael, the Mashachar Yerushalayim, and once Yerushalayim was destroyed, Nignazu, it got lost, it was put away. Only a minuscule amount remained. And it's left with this queen, Tzimtzamai. Now, the Mefarshim deal with who this queen is, and they come up with different ideas of who it may be. Either way, the word Tzimtzamai doesn't fit exactly the name of who the queen is, and I think that the word tzimtzum means to reduce and withhold, and it is appropriate that the beautiful scent of Yerushalayim was lost, and all that remains is hidden by a foreign queen named withholding and diminishing. In any case, the Gemara goes through some of the sins that were going on in Yerushalayim as at the time of the destruction that brought about the destruction and the drash of these psukim. The Mishnah says, Samach Gimel Lamed Aleph, towards the top, Lo Yetze Ha'ish Lo B'Sayif, Lo B'Keshes, Lo B'Tris, Lo B'Aleh. A man should not walk out wearing his sword, his bow, his shield, and Allah is a baton, or like a baton. Not with a spear. Ve'im yatsa chayv chatas. And if he carries these into the public domain, whether tied in his belt or over his flung over his shoulder, however he's wearing it, that's carrying on Shabbos. However, Rabbi Eliezer says no. This is a tachshit. This, even if you don't plan on using it, it's a form of a show of beauty, right? It's a show of strength. The Chacham is saying, no, that's not a show of beauty, and that's not an adornment, because all of these instruments actually are only, the fact that we need them is a gnai. It's a disgrace. Shanemar, as it says, that in the time of Mashiach, or as we'll see, Olam Haba, it says that their swords will be turned into plowshares. V'chani toseim lemizmoris, lemazmeros, and their spears into pitchforks that are going to help separate the grains. And one nation will not hold a sword to another, and will not learn or know war anymore. So, since the eventual time of Mashiach, the eventual outcome of materials of war is to destroy them, it tells us that that's actually a unnecessary. It's a necessary at times, but it's an evil. It's not a good thing, and therefore wearing it on Shabbos cannot be considered a jewelry. Biris Torah, v'yotze Shabbos. Biris, we're going to explain later. It's the ring to hold up stockings. So if it's a single one on the thigh, so then it's a Torah. It's not a vessel, and therefore not susceptible to tumah. V'yotze Shabbos, you can go out on Shabbos because you're not going to take it off, because it requires a lack of modesty to get there, to take it off. And kavalim, we'll explain that these are two such rings that are connected to each other. Tameim, that is a vessel susceptible to tumah, vein yotze Shabbos, and you can't wear it on Shabbos. The Gemara starts with the beginning. We know what a sword, a bow, and a shield are, but what's an olive? It's a kulpa. Kulpa is basically a baton, or really was a stick that was rounder at the
club.
A club. There you go. Club round at the outer end, and was used for beating. Rabbi Eliezer Aimer Tachshitin Rabbi Eliezer says actually you can wear it because it's an adornment. It's beautiful. Tanya Amar Leila Rabbi Eliezer, they said to Rabbi Eliezer, since they are for the beauty of a person, if they really are so good, so nice, and show power and its beauty, so why are they going to be destroyed in Mashiach and the days of Mashiach? Not because it's not beautiful, but because there's no need. You may as well utilize the metal for something else. Because it won't be a war. So he says, okay, so then why do people need them just for the show of strength, for the beauty? To have a Lenoi Ba'alma. Immediately have a Shraga B'Tiara. He says, no, that's no question. You can have a nice lantern, but in Midsummer's Day, it's not beautiful because it is of no meaning. It has no use, so it's no longer a show of beauty. Same is in the days of Mashiach, even though that it is beautiful, it's a nice thing, but since it's not necessary anymore, there's no function to it, so therefore you don't wear it. However, this disagrees with Shmuel. Shmuel says, even though when the days of Mashiach come, there'll be much change in the form of connection to Hashem with the Beis Hamikdash and Yerushalayim rebuilt, and people will have a desire to connect to Hashem. But nevertheless, the world structure, the world order will remain the same. And the only difference will be Shibud Golias Bavad. The only change between now and then is the rule of other nations over us. It says because we see that it says it will not lose the poor amongst us. Well, if there's poor, that means there's suffering. The suffering, that means that the world order is still the same. The only difference is that the rulers will not be foreign nations over us. And this supports all the prophecies that we have in Shayahu and Cheskel and the other prophecies of Treyaser, and even in Yirmiyahu, the ones that were not about the destruction, all of them are about Yemos and Mashiach. However, but the world to come, that the beauty and the serenity of that, no eye can see it. Even a Navi in his prophecy cannot see it. Besides for you, Hashem. And so in Shmuel, he says that there's no distinction between now and the world to come and the days of Mashiach. So all of the prophecies of the lion lying with the lamb, and or actually the wolf with the lamb, and all those prophecies that we've seen, those are according to Shmuel in the days of Mashiach. In the days of Olam Haba. However, this previous interpretation concurs with Rabbi Eliezer, concurs with Rabbi Barabba, who says that no, all the prophecy that we have about the world's serenity is actually in the days of Mashiach, and the world to come, the Olam Haba, that is something that no eye could ever behold. Some say actually the discussion with the Rabbi Eliezer went like this: if they are beautiful for him, so why are they going to be removed in the days of Mashiach? He says, no, it's actually still going to be there in the days of Mashiach. And there will be a sword, and there will be war. And this is what Shmuel says, that there's no distinction in the world order between now and the days of Mashiach, only in as much as Kollel Yisrael would not be under the rulership of some other nation. And that would be distinct from Rabbi Barabba, Amalei Abaye l'Rav Dimi, Amalei Rav Avia, Amalei Rav Yosef l'Rav Dimi, Amalei l'Rav Avia, Amalei Abaye l'Rav Yosef. So it's unclear who said to whom. My time in Rabbi Eliezer. The Amat Tachshit in England. What's the basis for Rabbi Eliezer to saying that it's actually that wearing weaponry is a form of jewelry or a form of adornment, and it's beautiful for a person, for a man? It says, gird your sword on your hip. Almighty One, this is your glory and your beauty. Amar layer of Kahana, Lamar Bereder of Huna. So Rav Kahana said to Mar Huna, no, that's not the meaning of that verse at all. That verse is a metaphor, and it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for Torah, and it means that if you study well and you know the material, when the question is asked and the or a scenario comes up, you'll know how to respond because you'll have the material handy in your it means in your mind. You'll know the material, but that's what this is, that you had the sword to slay the question, as it were, by right by your side. You have your answers handy because you know the Torah well. Amar Lei said to him, that's true. That is the meaning of that verse, the metaphor, but the verse cannot leave its simple meaning. And you don't have a metaphor if the metaphor is not appropriate. So it has to be, the verses have a simple meaning, and that simple meaning must be explained as well. Amar Rav Kahana, so Rav Kahana said, Tamni Sari Shnin, I was 18 years old already, and I had already learned the entire Talmud. And yet I didn't know this basic idea in the verses, that the verses must also retain its simple meaning. Ad hashta, until this moment, I didn't know this. Maika mashmala. What is the chiddush? What's the Rav Kahana teaching us? The ligma inish v'adalisber, that a person should study the statements and the teachings of his teacher, even if he doesn't get the depth of it, because at some point he'll be able to attain it. So study the words and study the concepts. That's the idea of learning all of halacha, learning all of Gemara, even though that there are many concepts that are very deep and take a lot more effort and attention to get to the depth of it. But when you study a lot, you get the information, you retain the information, and then when you get the understanding, you have the basis of knowledge to understand it properly. Siman Zaras. It's unclear what this mnemonic is. Two Talmidei Chachamim who are sharpening each other with halacha. That means that they question each other and don't just give them a pass. They when somebody says something, they challenge in order to get to the truth and the bottom line, not in order to the term in Gemara is lekanter, to belittle the other, not to belittle the other, but to truly get to the finest points. So you challenge or you question, and you challenge and you question until you get to the clarity of halacha. So then HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzliach lehem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives them success. Shneimah says, and there's a pasuk in Tehillim, v'hadorcha tzalach, and the drash is not hadorcha tzalach, not your dwelling in your beauty is going to be successful. I'll take your chidud, your sharpening each other is going to be successful. Not only that, but as a result of that, they get high positions. Shenema, for it says, tzalach rechab, you'll be successful in riding above. Perhaps even if you do it without the intent of the Torah, without lishma. Talmud loymar al dvar emes. No, it has to be for the sake of truth. Perhaps if now that you're successful, you become haughty, that you will be able to retain it. Talmud loymar says no. Va'anva tzedek. It has to be with with humility, modesty, righteousness. But if you do it in the correct way, then you merit Torah, which was given with the right hand, as it says, and your teaching is the awe of the right side, or the teaching of awe is your right side. You merit that which it said about the right side of Torah. The descendant in the name of Rav Sheshes. What's the meaning when it says in the pasuk On the right side of Torah is long days, and on the left side of Torah is wealth and honor. So on the right side, where there's long days, it comes without honor and wealth. So rather, what it means is that those that are put it the right side, meaning they put their entire strength and effort into Torah to understand it and to learn it and to do it well. So then you have length of life, and for sure, and for sure, honor and wealth. But for those that do it haphazardly, it's their left hand, it's their weak side. They give it some effort, but not full effort. They get honor and wealth, but they don't have the additional blessing of everyday counting. Without the length of days. Further with the idea of sharpening oneself in Torah, it says if two Talmidei Chachamim are learning together, but they're not sharpening each other, not challenging each other as much, but they are teaching each other and learning from each other, taking the teachings of the other. Hashem listens to them. For it says, "As nidbar yirei Hashem," then the yirei Hashem will speak. Ishorei wants the other v'yakshiv Hashem, and Hashem will listen. Vayishma, and he will hear it, and he will v'yikaseh b'sefer zikara lefanav, and it will be written in the book of memory, of memorialization, in front of Hashem, liyirei Hashem l'choshvei shema, for those that fear Him and those that think of His name. So, ein dibur, it says nidbur yirei Hashem. Dibur over there means al benachas. Speech is in nachas, which is smooth, easy talk. It also means benachas, where one is acquiescing to the other. That's shenemar, as it says, yad ber amim tachtenu. You make other nations under us or submissive to us in a calm, nice way. So what does it mean at the end of that verse that we just read, that those that nidbar yirei Hashem, when people talk words of Hashem to each other, that it's l'choshvei shemo, to those that think of His name or make relevant His name. Choshvei shemo means that even if you just intended, you thought about Hashem and you intended to do a mitzvah, but your attempt was not did not come to fruition, you were not successful. Nevertheless, Hashem counts it as if you did it. Anybody who does a mitzvah exactly in the manner that it was meant to be done, they withhold from him bad news. It says, shomer mitzvah, somebody guards a mitzvah, does not come to know bad things. Not only does it hold back from him the news of bad things, but also that when he wants something, he says something should be, Hashem fulfills it. For it says, Ba'asher devar melech shilton u'miyer ma'atasem. The word of the king is what reigns. So it's the decree of the king that reigns, and who will tell him what he can do? And right afterwards, it says, it says that one who guards mitzvah will not know any evil. So that tells us that somebody who, the question is, so in the simple meaning of the verse, it's rhetorical. Who can tell a king what to do? But in this drash, what it's saying is, and who can tell a king what to do? The one that can tell the king what to do is the one who does mitzvah and guards it well, that he will not know anything evil, because everything he says the king will do. If these two Talmidei Chachamim are not sharpening each other by challenging each other, they're not learning from each other and being submissive in the learning, or rather they're listening to each other, but they give each other the voice to speak and teach. So Hashem listens to their voice. It says, those that are sitting in the garden, chaverim, makshivim, they are friends that are listening to each other. I say, Hashem says, I say, l'kolech hashmi'ini, let me hear your voice, because it's beautiful, because people are learning Torah and allowing others to teach as well. But if they don't give each other that space to teach and learn, and they don't give each other the voice, then they cause Shechina to leave Yisrael. Shemar says, Barach Doidi de Melech Tzvi. As it says, my beloved, run away. Like a deer, like a gazelle. Amar Rabbi Abba Meshim Elaka Shnei Tamei Dechamim Amadgilim Zeh Lezeh V'Alacha. Amadgilim Zeh is the verse we have. Some texts have the word Megadlin Zeh Lezeh, or the other words. So we're going to go with the Madgilim, because this is what Rashi has. They stir each other up, meaning that they get each other, says, hey, let's get together and learn, and let's get together and teach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Oyavan, Hashem loves them. Shanemofer says, V'diglo alai ava, and his digul, his gathering, his literally a flag, but a flag was the rally call. So his flag, his rally call, his initiating other people to learn is, to me, love. Amar Rava, V'hu the Yaditzurtu the Shmaita. They have to at least know the basic form of the halacha in order to be able to gather and teach. So this is if there's no established academy there, so they can't go to the academy. So they're gathering people to learn. That's great if they can at least know what it is that they're the subject matter that they're talking about. But if they don't, then they're going to mess it up and teach it in the wrong way, and that's not good. And furthermore, he says, and there's no great teacher there. If there's a great teacher, if your academy, you're just a breakaway. That's not good. But if there's no other teacher there, then to learn from him. So then then this is a love, because they are gathering people to teach Torah. One who lends does greater tzedakah than one who gives a gift, even though the person has to give it back. But it's a greater tzedakah because he feels like he doesn't feel as badly. So the Torah is not only looking at the value, bottom line, how much did this guy get, but rather his feelings and his sense of responsibility and his sense of growth and inner person as well. And investing with the person to help him be successful in his own work, that's even greater, because he feels as successful and he has the ability to grow. If the Talmid Chacham that you're learning from is someone who is particular and demands that there's respect for Torah, so then you can learn from him. But if you have someone who is perhaps a righteous person but doesn't know halacha, is an amaretz and doesn't really care for Torah, he's just a good person. Don't dwell with him, because he doesn't know Torah and doesn't respect Torah, but is a good person in of itself, and you're going to learn from him and say, oh, this person is so kind and nice, even though that it's not based in Torah, and you'll end up abandoning your connection with Torah on account of them. It's not clear who said it, but in the name of Rabbi Shimon Lakish, anybody who has a bad dog, a wild, uncontrollable dog in his household, he's withholding chesed from his household. Shenemar says, lamas mereu chesed. When somebody has a wild dog in his house, he withholds from his friend chesed, because nobody's going to want to knock at his door for fear of the dog. And how do we know that lamos means a dog? In Greek, current lekelev lamos. Dog is lamos. I don't know if it's in current Greek, but that's what the Gemara says. Yevonis, a dog is lamos. Now, not only is he withholding kindness, chesed, but he's also throwing off Yira Shamayim from himself. Shemar it says, Yira Shakai, the fear of Hashem Yazov, he abandons. A woman had rented the use of her neighbor's oven. It was common; not everybody had an oven, so you would go and you would rent the use of an oven. So she walked into the other person's house. She was pregnant. She was pregnant, and Novach la kalba, and the dog barked at her. She was frightened. Iyakar velada, and she lost her child. She lost the pregnancy. Amala Mari the Beta, the master of the house, said, don't be afraid of this dog. The Shakili Nive, because I had already taken out its fangs. I took out the canines. V'Shakilin Torfrei, and I took off her claws. So don't worry about it. Amr lay, so she said back to him, Shakuli tevuzech v'shadi achizri. Go ahead and take all your favors, all your kindness, and put it on a thorn and thistle. Very nice that now you tell me that I don't need to be afraid. Kvar no, Vlad, the child is already removed. Amr Ravuna Maidachsiv, Ravuna says, what is the meaning of this that it says in the pasuk, Samach bachur b'yaldo secha v'yitifcha libcha b'mein bachur secha. Be joyous, young man, in your youth, and let your heart be gladdened in the days of your choice of your youth. Follow your heart in the path of your heart of and that which your eyes desire. But you shall know. Hashem will judge you for all of these. He says, up until here was the words of the Yetzer Hara. That's what it means. That the first part is, go ahead, do as you wish. That's the Yetzer Hara says. And then the Yetzer Tov says, but you should know that Hashem is going to judge you. Now what it means is, when you're young, do follow the gladness of your heart. It means when you're young, you don't have responsibilities. So go ahead and learn Torah and follow the path of Torah and acquire as much knowledge as possible. But at some point, you have to take responsibility for it. You have to go out and start doing, and because otherwise Hashem will judge you not by how much Torah you learned, but how much you actually did. That's the end of this drash about the days of Mashiach, about walking around with a sword or with a Glock, and then giving the value of Torah to Torah. Biris Torah. So what is Biris? Biris is not susceptible to Tomar Rabbi Yehuda. Biris zu etz ada. This is the armband, which was used, basically an upper armband, which is used often to hold garment together, or to show a certain status. Maser Rav Yosef Biris Tahira is that, well, our Mishnah says that a Biris is not susceptible to Tumah. V'yetzim b'Shabbos, you can wear it on Shabbos. V'ilu etz ada tamehi, but etz ada is actually a proper garment. It's a proper piece, and it should be susceptible to Tumah. So he said, Achikama Biris tachas etz ada. What he meant to say is, it's just like an armband, but only on the thigh to keep up the stocking. It's in place of etzada. Yosef, Ravin, Rav Huna kamed Rav Yirmiyah. Ravin and Rav Huna was sitting in front of Rabbi Yirmiyah. Yosef Rav Yirmiyah menamnim. And even though Rabbi Yirmiyah was supposed to be teaching, he was dozing off. So Yosef, Ravin, and Kamran. So Ravin was telling Rav Huna, both of them sitting in front of the teacher Rabbi Yirmiyah, waiting for him to wake up. So they were telling each other. In our Mishnah, really the two, biris and kavalim, are the same. It's just that biris is one on one leg, and the kavalim are connected to two. Amalei Rav Huna elu ve'elu b'shtayim. No, both are two. Matilim shalshelas b'nei manasa kavalim. The point is that there's a chain. There's connecting the two. That's what makes them. That's what makes it the difference between a kavalim. A kavalim is two. And it's the chain that makes it into a vessel. Otherwise, it's just a plain piece of metal, not a receptacle. It's just a circle of metal. The chain is what makes it into a vessel. And if you tell me, maybe it's like Rabbi Shmuel ben Nachmani in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, which we saw earlier, that any metal that can make a sound, meaning we had a bell that you can clang, then it's going to be susceptible to Tumah Shanema. For it says, that anything comes through the fire by the vessels that they brought back from the battle with Midian. And we saw earlier, the Gemara said that Kol Davar was to tell any dibur, anything that makes a sound, anything that's used to make noise, is a vessel that's susceptible to Tumah. Dibur b'mashma. So Bishlam Hasam Kabayle Lakola Kavid Maisa. There, you need it for the noise, and that's the action it's doing. So of course it's susceptible to Tumah on account of that it is a piece of metal used for sound. Here, what are you actually doing with this that you should be susceptible to Tumah? No, he does do some action. What does it do for you? In the name of Rabbi Yochanan again, he said, Rabbi Bachana said, there was a family in Yerushalayim, Parsasein Gases. Their manner of walking was that they took very large steps. And for the girls, it removed their hymen. And they didn't want that. It was considered damaged goods in trying to get married. So asalem kavalim. So what they did was they made these kavalim. So in their rings that were holding up their stockings, they made a chain connecting them with a short chain. This way, they didn't take these large steps. And it saved their hymen from being torn out. In the meantime, Rabbi Yirmiyah woke up and heard this conversation. So he said to them, indeed, that's correct. So said Rabbi Yochanan. All right, we're out of time. So that's what Rabbi Yochanan said. That's what the kavalim would be used for, and was therefore a functional thing and susceptible to tumah because it had a function in minimizing people's steps that when they tended to take large steps. We'll continue tomorrow with susceptibility of tumah of just plain piece of metal and other such things on adornments, jewelry. Ashakach.
Ashakach. Have a good day.
Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, and
Good Shabbos.
we'll be doing a